Okay, so now we will see how do we create the Maven project. So we will go to File, then New Project, and from here, apart from instead of selecting Java project, we will select the Maven project. Right. So Maven is integrated by default with your Eclipse, right? So you can just select the Maven project from here and go to Next, and then create a simple project and use the default location, whatever is your location, as in your default location of the other projects. Select that and then click Next. Here give the group ID. Group ID could be anything of like of your project name. So automation end-to-end project, and then artifact ID is also similar to group ID. So automation practice something. So and remaining all field you can keep blank and then just finish. Once you finish this, then a new Maven project would be created here, right? And it will have its own structure, right? So src main Java, src main sources, src test Java, and src test resources. And Java would be included by default because Java was already integrated with your Eclipse, right? And for other tools, we will have to create we will have to add dependencies in POM.xml file, right? So if you observe this closely, you will see M icon here along with J. Earlier we used to see only J icon for the Java projects, but for the Maven projects you will see the M icon, right? And it gives you a structure, so where you can keep your main file, where you can keep your resources, where you can keep your test file and all that, right? So that we will see anyways while we will be creating your framework. Right now, the POM.xml is a heart of Maven project, what we see is. So it is having, if you can see all those tabs, so it gives the overview, right? So what is the group ID, artifact ID, all that would be given here. Then dependencies, I mean, this dependency tag is of no use. So effective POM is also of no use. So for us to use is your POM.xml file, and within this you have to enter your dependencies, right? So what all dependencies would be required for me to enter is like first is your Selenium dependency, then your TestNG dependency, and then remaining dependencies are from your this Apache POM.xml API, right? So which we will be using for our data-driven testing. Right. So let me just. So I have added TestNG dependency and Selenium dependency from MVN repository, and I have saved it. So my jars got added in your project. Right now, what I will do, I will go to this src test Java, and wherein I will create a new package. Right. So my package name is let's say data provider test. And in this package, I am creating a class for testing the data-driven testing, for doing the data-driven testing. So let's say login page data-driven, and I'm not selecting the main method here because I will use the TestNG. Right. So let's copy the code which we have written there in your login page. Yeah, so let me copy this code from here. Okay, now we will see what all changes I have to do to create the to fetch the data from your Excel file. So first of all, we have to add the dependencies. for Apache POI API. So Apache POI API is a external library that you will have to use for your adding for doing your data driven testing. So we will have to add couple of dependencies there. So first is your POI x.x.jar. Second is your POI oo xml.jar dot x.x.jar. So x.x is a version name, right? So we will see that. Now POI oo xml schema dot x.x.jar, then xml beans x.x.jar, then we have commons collection. Collection 4 xxx.jar. Okay, so we will have to add these 5 dependencies for my Apache POI API. So we will search them one by one in Maven repository. Right. So first is your POI, and for POI I will get this Apache POI, and this is POI. I can copy just dependency and add in your POM.xml file. Then next one is your POI OOXML. POI OOXML. This is POI OOXML. Okay, so this also I will copy only the dependencies. So earlier was POI and this one is POI OOXML. Next is your POI OOXML schemas. So for this schema also added. Then we have next is XML beans. XML beans. And then next is your collection, right? So common collection 4. Common collection 4. Common collection. Common hyphen collection 4. Sorry. Common hyphen collection 4. So make sure that you are picking the correct common hyphen collection. Which one is that? Let me check on this. I'm not sure. So it's commons, not common. Commons hyphen collection 4. Okay, Apache. Then so once you add all those dependencies, just click save all, and then your project would be built. All those source and Java doc would be downloaded. Right? So all those would be saved in your M2 repository. Right now, if you see, go here, if you see here, you would be able to see all those dependencies are ready here. So you can see the dependencies from Apache POI, and then common codec, common collection 4, and all that would be added here. Okay, and these jars having the required method which we need to use for reading the data from Excel and then passing it to test case. Right. So until here, is it fine, guys?
Yeah, so basically we have added all the jars, right, in that.
Yeah, all these jars we have added, yes.
Okay.
Okay, simple, right? So we need to know the names of jars, right? And those jars we need to add in your POM.xml file along with your Selenium and TestNG dependencies. Right, so we don't need Java jars to be added here because Java is already integrated with your project, right? Now next task would be to create your test data, right? So for that, let me go to